saw the beauty side of me before. Now, with great pleasure, I introduce you to the beast.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Jay here with my brother Sam.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back.
Today we're gonna do something a little bit different than we have. This is a surprise for me, honestly. This was one of those Sam orders.
Welcome back, brother.
As we usually have on the channel. But so here we're looking at Zarbon True Power, and this is one of those obscure figures that it's not for everyone,
or it's not obscure, but just not a main character.
It's not exactly. It's definitely a side character, but it's a cool character nonetheless. So we're looking at the box of what this Zarbon comes with. So he comes with a good amount of accessories, I would say, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But you know, first impressions with him out of the box, he is pretty heavy, and that was one of the things that I was genuinely curious about, because in the last Zarbon, the base form that we have, that was one of the things that I noticed, that he was pretty on the light side, right?
Yeah, he didn't feel premium. He felt very light plastic, and also like the texture of that figure, I was very disappointed with it.
Yeah,
there was very little balance in that Zarbon figure because of the cape. And also something that I was hesitant about with this figure is that our other bulky figures, Nappa, Raditz is a pretty bulky figure, they have absolutely no balance.
Yeah, and they're very loose over time.
And they're very, especially Nappa, is just horribly loose. I don't know if it's maybe our copy, but
very frustrating.
And so that was one of the things that I think we were very afraid about getting this figure. Yeah,
no, and definitely this Zarbon has its weight. It feels quality. We'll get into more details in a second, but first impressions are definitely good ones. A genuine surprise for me was the articulation, and I was curious about, okay, he's a big guy, how are they going to make this guy posable? Because if you collect Dragon Ball, you are going to pose your figures in maybe like an iconic stance, in a battle stance on the shelf,
power up,
grappling. Exactly. So how they were going to do that was something that I was, you know, pretty curious about. Especially one of those things were the shoulder areas, because you know, you guys can see he has the shoulder pads essentially. So how they were going to be able to allow you to get into those poses with him being so big was you know, something that I really wanted to see, and I'm genuinely surprised. Like, this guy has some really great mobility. I feel like the engineering is where this figure really shines. You guys can see here, he's got some great crossing arms capabilities. I don't know if that's the right
hell was that, man?
I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but he's able to really
sound like me now.
So he can really get those arms together, and I think that's one of the great things about it. If you're gonna have a Dragon Ball figure that you know is gonna shoot beams, he better be able to put his arms together.
Yeah. So there we can see those beautiful butterfly joints that he has, and the engineering that we talked about is those shoulder pads. And I love this new style, I guess, that they've been using, because with Captain Ginyu and Raditz, we have the insert one, right?
You know,
kind of like a peg. Like I get it. I can see why, because it kind of like turns a lot.
Yeah.
And if you have them on that side view, yeah, you can tell. But you guys are going to see some of the poses we get this guy in. And I'm telling you right now, you can't do that with Raditz and Captain Ginyu, because those inserts, the shoulder pads, they get loose and they just start falling off over and over again, and you can't really get the mobility of putting his arms all the way up as a flying pose or something like that. And I feel like these pads you can, and once you get them in the pose and the right shot, and it's honestly not even difficult to do with them.
Yeah.
And so this is why I think with especially this bulky figure, I think it was a perfect way to go as far as engineering goes.
No, and they did a great job. Like, if you guys can see here, his crunch is actually much better than most figures.
He does have a great ab crunch, you're right.
Even with him being so big, this is where the separation comes into that cut. And at first I was like, oh great, like these are going to start to come off. But at the same time, the way that they engineered it allows you to really get those, you know, those crouching poses. You can very easily swivel, and it doesn't break the sculpt up. So the knees, the double jointed knees here are great as well. Again, where this guy
joints also on his feet, right, in his toes.
He's got a great joint. Yeah. He's got toe joints. He's got ankle swivel. He
Mhm.
can, really extend his foot forward and back really well, like this one.
I think the only gripe I have as far as the legs engineering goes is you can't really move them forward and up.
Yeah,
It'll definitely it hits a hard stop,
yeah, and it pops
and
off.
or you have to move it to the side, which makes it
Mhm.
look a little weird, or it's gonna pop off. So here's one of those positions or poses that we were telling you guys about that you can't do very well with the other type of shoulder pads, and with these you can. And I think, to me, it's a great compromise.
No, it's a great way to do it, and if you get it in the right angles and stuff, he looks
He looks
absolutely
phenomenal.
absolutely
You
great.
guys will see in the pictures at the end.
Yeah. A big area of opportunity, I would say, is the paint. There's no shading anywhere on this guy, so I feel like shading would have really brought out the texture. And speaking of the texture, this is where they really did really well, as far as the sculpting goes. Like, look at these faces, the
Gosh.
tongue,
They went
the,
above and
the
beyond.
color, the fact that he has his mouth open. Like if you're thinking about how like Marvel figures have Carnage, for example, they sometimes a big area of opportunity is how they have their tongues or their mouths open.
Mhm.
But with this guy, the way that they sculpted it and they painted it, and just the way that they
And
engineered
they
it,
they got the facial expressions right, man. Like, everything speaks to you, and
Look at that,
adds to that, to the expression. The eyes, they really got them perfectly well done, almost like the anime come to life. And so I think they went above and beyond with the sculpt. You even get those like pimples or dots or whatever you want to call them,
the
those bumps
texture. Mhm.
on his skin, and they even added that to the face. I also love, Jay, that they added like rubber texture, a flexible rubber to his hair
Mm,
and to his face. So
Right.
when you're swapping faces, you're not afraid that you're gonna scratch him or you're gonna break something or they're gonna fall easily.
mhm.
It's actually very well done. So that's another plus for me.
Yeah, and then taking into consideration the cape that we're looking at now, I was concerned about him having a hard cape because the first base form Zarbon, if you extend the cape out, he will fall, he will topple over, and that's really not a problem with this, figure, because even if you open the cape, he can really hold the stand with no problem. The way that they engineered the distribution of the weight was extremely, extremely good. And I feel like that's, again, the engineering is where this guy really shines. I'm not too much of a fan of the hard capes because I'm not the greatest poser, but I like to pose my figures in a way that they look dynamic. And I was worried about, how they were gonna allow us to do that.
with the hard cape.
Yeah, with the hard cape. But I think what really sells it is they gave us that alternative hair. And if you can see, guys, it looks like he's moving to the left or to the right, and it really sells the idea that he's in motion.
And it has what is it? A swivel, I guess.
Yeah.
The hair, so you can point
It's a
it
ball
in
joint,
all
yeah.
a ball joint.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. It has like, so you can point it in all different directions,
Yeah,
and it adds to the motion and to the expressiveness of the figure and the poses you want to put them in.
right.
And as you guys can see here, I think it was their way of giving us a compromise.
Yeah,
And okay, we can't give you a soft goods or a wired cape,
Right.
so we'll give you this hair, which is in motion, and you can really put it in pretty much any pose you
no,
want.
and they really did a great job with that compromise. I feel like he comes with a great amount of accessories for the hands, for example. All his iconic,
Blast
key
effects, yeah.
blasts. It, as per usual, SH doesn't really do much of blast effects, so he does not have any blast effects, which is again a big area opportunity. But we'll get into that in our final thoughts. Now we're looking at some size comparisons with the base form Zarbon,
Mhm.
the Kui, the Lowest Born Saiyan Goku, and the 24,000 Vegeta, which they really do look nice together.
And they're kind of the same. Well, they are of the same era of the anime.
yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Still my
their
favorite.
face sculpts have stepped up immensely. They actually look like the figures from the animation.
I would agree, man. I would agree. I think it's a beautiful figure.
What would you say is your final thoughts, and how would you rate it?
So how would I rate it? I would say, as far as mobility, getting this very bulky figure to move around, to balance, and position him the way you want to. As also the different hands that they gave him are all of that character and of what you see him do in the show,
Right.
which is something I really liked about it. The faces that are so expressive and the way they sculpted the faces and the paint app. So I'm gonna grade all of that as well as the negative aspects, which is the legs honestly could have been a little bit longer. I think they're a little bit too short. And to me, that's probably the biggest negative, and the hard cape.
Gotcha.
So to me, this figure gets to an 8.59, solid figure for me.
No, it definitely is it's a great figure. I would agree with that score, 8.5. The engineering for me is the one that really takes it where it needs to go. As far as a pleasant surprise, the engineering on such a big figure is really, really surprising, and they did a great job. Area opportunity for me is the paint for sure. That shading really would have taken the look of the figure to another level. It's already great.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
With a little bit of shading here and there, just to accent, like maybe texture or muscle tones. I think really would have taken the figure to the next level. So 8.5, it's definitely a pickup for me. After I had it in my hands, after you got it, after you brought it home. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan and you love that Frieza Saga, which is arguably the best one for a lot of people,
to me it is. It's still iconic.
So this is a no-brainer, honestly. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's review. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are. Did you like it? Did you pick him up? Is he a pass? Do you prefer the first form or the True Power version that we're kind of talking about today?
Yeah, thanks for coming along with us on our journey, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and share this with your friends. It really helps out our channel. Yeah, guys, we made it to 145, which is crazy, and we really do appreciate it. So, and we're having fun doing it. Trying to share our love for the hobby. Yeah, awesome, guys. So we will catch you guys on the next one. See you later.